copy his answer.
I'm not going to copy his answer. I don't know how all men are, but I think in the early stages we're quite selfish lovers, I would think.
Okay.
So I agree with that, yeah. I've never really thought about a woman climaxing like. What? No, but bro.
He's telling his truth. Go on.
No, because
I'm not being mean, but that's how you know he's bad sex.
When coming up was it a thing where the man will say, oh, make sure that you make the girl come. That was never anything that was ever put towards us. That became something later when we heard for women, oh, I need to come, what? Or you don't do this, you don't do that. So, me personally, the next thing I want to say, like, oh yeah, I haven't.
A lot for accomplished until she does.
I've never gone down on a girl before. And then you're going to say, that means you could have never satisfied a girl.
Not true.
But then I would say I have, but then I also know that there's, times where in the past that I could say a girl didn't. But then I wasn't bothered by that.
Good. It doesn't mean anything.
So what, you a selfish lover?
No, because it's not relationship bound. In a relationship, I've been with a girl who I could say wasn't good in bed, but it wasn't about that. Because when you're with someone that you like or you love, sex is supposed to be a connection. So I'm saying to you, so it's never been about what she can do. So I'm not thinking about another girl. So I'm saying, no.
Why, when you're in love, you should be thinking about what she can.
I think there's a lot of emphasis that's put on the actual act of sex versus, oh, I'm with someone that I really love and it's intimate, yeah? Because when you're with someone that you really care about, I don't think none of these things matter. But I think
they do.
You may think it don't, but it does.
Like, I think if it's my wife, I would do whatever not wifey, my wife, I would do whatever she requires to keep her happy because she's my wife. I think sometimes we do so much with our boyfriends and girlfriends. By the time we get to our husband, what do we say for them? There's nothing left. Yeah. You've literally done everything with these people that have not gonna be. And then what happens is when you actually meet the person that who's a good man and he can provide and pay for, you're focusing on sex, which is an important thing, but I think it makes it a lot harder to please you when you have multiple partners that are.
Is that exclusive to women? I think men and women are different in that regard. I think men are more going to be easier to please, way easier. Even if you've banged loads of women, your woman would still be able to please you in that respect. Whereas if she's got high mileage and she smashed bare man, bare techniques, you're competing with all them man.
Let me not lie to you.
And I'm saying that a woman is going to be harder to please than I reckon a man would.
A man can get hard over
because we are more complicated to please.
Yes. So that you got the mileage with all these porn star guys, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's mad.
It's not about mileage. Don't get triggered, ladies. It's not, you know exactly what.
She always wants to argue for every.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm not trying to argue with you, but you can't just say, it's not about I'm not triggered at all. The fuck is my business with that?
The question was 1x. She's thinking about 1x. It's not a plethora of them.
That's a part of the mileage.
Every woman is different. I might like something doesn't mean I have a different mileage, or she might like something different. It's not about
the
mileage.
The probability is if you got higher mileage, you've had more dicks.
So what's that got
the reality?
To do with anything?
Because
what if I pleased myself?
Listen, you guys are being triggered.
What if I grew up masturbating?
What about
and now I've met you and you can't make me climax? There's no mileage.
That's why masturbation's not good.
The scenario is another dick. That's the scenario.
Different. You were saying if I was, pleasing myself, and earlier on she spoke about the rose toy. All of these dildos, all of these things, all they do is they make the expectations hard. Like, they'll have things that are buzzing, hitting 3 points at one time. No man can do that. Our things don't do that. So what happens is women build unrealistic expectations, and by the time you get to a man, you're like, oh, he's not making me come. But of course he's not making you come, because you're used to doing this and doing that and multiple things. So I just think sometimes the responsibility bears on a woman to teach a man how to please her. Because if he's not doing these things, then whose fault is it? Because after 5 years, I'm sorry, your communication is terrible.
You haven't told him, you haven't showed him.
I think there's certain things, if you're just in a casual sexual relationship, you wouldn't do with maybe someone that you was in a long-term relationship with. So I think sometimes we should save some people for some things for our long-term partners. That's me. What about you?
I agree. Is there any point you want to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Sure. Okay, so what's the question?
Okay, can you tell when a girl's not enjoying herself?
I'd like to exercise my rights.
Come on, man.
No, personally, I think you can tell, and that's because of the body connection. When your body responds well to the person, then you enjoy it more. And I don't think you actually have to have a big or small dick for that. I feel like before anything, you have to actually like the person. See, when you like the person, a girl can nut in seconds. And you ain't done no magic tricks. It's just because you're inside her, that's making her like you so much. Do you know what I'm saying? So it depends, the connection. Once you get the right connection in the bed and the body responds well to you, you know you're doing well.
When it's
if
off.
the body's not responding well, I don't.
So you're
need
saying the
faces.
connection, or you saying the way she responds
The way
physically?
her body responds to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel
right?
you're doing something right.
Endorphins, my boy.
But when I said the way she moves, then there was like some turbulence, like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. It was the right thing.
Kind of.
Talking about.
So sex for you guys, is sex for guys, is it more a physical thing or a mental thing? Because I feel like females,
Both.
it's more a mental thing,
Men
right? For you,
definitely
yeah,
a
it's
mental
more like a
because
spiritual
we don't get to
experience
see
for us
a
to
lot.
actually get to that position.
I think it's only with a wife.
Then if it's mental, why do women talk about they want big dicks?
I don't know who you're speaking.
I don't know who said that, but keep me away from big.
You lot have never heard a woman say she wants a big dick. You've never heard that.
Back in the day.
You've never heard that.
I have heard it, of course, but I don't hear
I've
it
never
anymore.
heard that in my life.
So I'm asking, why do women say that?
I feel like it's the
Shout out to the guys with little
I
dicks.
feel like it's an immature mentality.
When is it mental and when is it?
I think what happens with a lot of guys here is that when you invest in a tuntun for too long, and you pray to the tuntun, you caress the tuntun, it becomes such a thing where it's almost like it's forbidden areas now for any other person. It's because you're doing it too much with that person. Okay. And that connection builds. It goes beyond physical.
Yeah.
We're now in a different level of
spiritual,
emotion.
soul ties.
It's almost soul ties.
Do you know how many men have
To the point where that if you did do something and you cheated on man, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna send you left.
This is why.
So sometimes one night stands, sorry my guy, sometimes one night stands,
You think it's a mind game,
you think
soul
that guys
ties.
don't care, but the problem is the one night stand, it's literally just one night, and it just happened. That's just physical. We can leave that. It's when you start going back again and again and again.
It's when you have unprotected sex.
And the more you're doing it, you're learning new things about the person. To the point where it gets to a point where you don't even need to touch the person already with.
Dexys stands for sacred sacred energy exchange. That's what sex means.
Bars.
Well, that's in English, because in Portuguese it don't mean that.
That's the point you're leaving.
No, yeah, there seems to be something that men don't like. Like, there seems to be something that men don't have emotions, but we do, right? And I was saying, like, when you have protected sex, it doesn't, it's not personal. When you start having unprotected sex with someone, you start passing energies and all these types of things. And for men, for women, it can attach a lot sooner, but for men, once we get attached, it's a lot harder for us to break up. And that's why sometimes when a man breaks up with a girl, he starts doing the madness, you hear about suicide. You don't hear that really when a girl breaks up too much, the same way you hear about when men don't take breakups well when they're completely connected. So I'm saying to you, especially when they invested years and years, and all of a sudden a woman says, you know what, I want a divorce, I'm taking half, I'm taking the kids. Man don't know what to do, their brain starts, you know what I'm saying to you? And
Over sex, imagine.
I'm just saying, we have to sex can be just sex. But when you start sleeping with somebody, I know a lot of guys that start sleeping with a girl, she might have slept with a lot of people in the end. He's like, oh, she's nothing, she's just a hoe, she's this. After a while, man start pillow talking, and before you know it,
He's in love with her.
He's in love.
Full-blown.
And then she becomes his baby mama. And it's like, you're trying to be like, raw, bro, that's that girl
That's when it becomes worse.
worse.
So you do believe in the soul tie thing? It's interesting because she doesn't see it that way. She thinks that it's a way for men to manipulate women.
no,
And
I
that's
don't
what you think as well?
Yeah,
No,
I don't
I
believe
think
in
What?
Let her learn. Is that on the head?
Hello, let me say. I generally think, soul ties is a mind game, and not you manipulating us or we manipulating you. I generally feel like, because now I know I used to say the boy I lost it to. Sorry, family, found that you're listening, but oh, I'm so tired. I don't give a fuck about him now. I ain't gonna go back for nothing. It's like I just generally feel like it's a mind game. You telling yourself.
You want
Princess.
a reason to be an idiot. That's
Let me
what.
tell you
That's what
something
it
now,
is.
shorty.
No, it's true.
Let me tell you something now, shorty. You young, shorty. We old folk out here, shorty.
It's true. This is one of the biggest misconceptions in the world, that people say that when women have sex, it's emotional. It doesn't have to be emotional.
I know.
Well, we do catch feelings quicker.
You speak for yourself.
The Nelva is the reason why so many women find themselves in dumb situations, because you go into it thinking that you can handle it, and then when you catch the feelings, and then you're calling that man, now your mood is based on whether he answers your text or not. It's too late, you're caught up. You need to understand what you're doing, ladies. We catch feelings. We can't handle situationships the way men can. Simple. No, but it's scientific, babe. We release certain hormones.
Can I ask a question, please?
Wait, you can release certain hormones, but it's very inaccurate to say that a woman has to have always ends up having an emotional connection
Not always.
over sex. In fact, we can see even more now that there are women that will be doing things with men and having sex with men. It has nothing to do with emotion.
Hold on.
That is why. Hold on. Hold on. That is why I would like you guys to understand one thing, right? Women can please themselves.